So I was thinking about learning pathways and building badges into coherent learning units, I guess you could call them. And during the course of my thinking, I started thinking about foundational badges, which could be competency badges or key component badges that would then suggest learning pathways. And these learning pathways would be the equivalent of, let's consider them a course or something like that are composed of a number of different units or badges, sub-badges, that would then lead the participant or learner to a capstone or a major learning achievement badge. So the foundational badge, within its essence as a competency or as a specific learned component, could suggest other options for further learning. And again, you could see this cycle iterating through with the capstone badge then turning into a foundational badge that would lead for a higher level of learning. So a learning pathway is kind of a map through knowledge, I guess we could call it, a way to build the skills and requisite knowledge that would lead to this capstone badge. Plotting out learning pathways is one question. Who does that? And again, to flip back to a thought from the other day is, if you had learning catalogs that would help plot these things out, the suggestion for that learning pathway rising from the foundational badge could then be drawn from there. And also there's the idea or the issue of a cooperative badge that you can see indicated by the dashed boundary here, the red unfilled badge. A cooperative badge being a shared badge between two different learning opportunity providers. And what would it take to lay the foundations for that consistency in the evaluation data, the metadata that was involved in that, and being able to create hybrid learning pathways that draw from multiple providers would be fairly important. And so how you plot that out and how you actually begin to understand that as a process is a question that's sort of out there, I think. And what this really needs is a more concrete example, and if thoughts keep rolling, I should put that down on paper somewhere and do just a small use case that would illustrate this. We'll see if that happens. And to just try to keep it short today, learning pathways could be embedded in communities of practice. That is an actual real-world practice that's happening out there. And what does that look like? What is membership in that community? What are the boundaries for that membership? And then, just as a sort of hazy thought that's out there, as community members go through their apprenticeship and whatnot, become full-fledged community members, and develop expertise, can they then turn around and spawn learning experiences that would then be valid opportunities to issue a badge towards further learning? And the sort of shaky example that came to mind last night was that of a beekeepers, for better or worse. And just thinking about the stages and development of a beekeeper, and then there's the unit, the learning that goes on marketing products. And there's an opportunity there for a member of the beekeeping community of practice, if you will, to serve as an expert and create a learning opportunity that would be focused on marketing, that could then be connected back to a formal learning institution, a university, that would then be sort of endorsed by or co-led by somebody, a university faculty, that would allow that learning unit that is being represented, that badge, which represents a learning unit, and that's another way of thinking about badges, is they represent learning units. That learning unit could then be sort of a cross-boundary learning unit. So it'd be relevant to beekeepers, but other people interested in marketing, other producers, other communities that might have similar interests, and then you get some of that boundary crossing and knowledge sharing that sort of cuts across those boundaries, which is a highly desirable place to be, I think.